young, those are ones that can really expose you quickly. It's different than drafting Laquan Treadwell in the first round and missing on that. You can survive that. With quarterback, it's so much time. You feel so committed to making that guy work, and you want to give him time that sometimes when it's not working, then the quicksand starts to just totally engulf your whole body. And again, I'm not ready to give up on Cousins yet. I think he can recover. I think they can be okay, but certainly it doesn't look great right now, and that's a very hard position to evaluate.
Well, two things. They drafted Ponder, and that set into motion a succession of scrambling moves to make up for having drafted Christian Ponder. It's hard when you miss on a first-round quarterback because you have to make up for it somehow. And then they had the misfortune with Teddy. Mm-hmm. Teddy was going to be a good NFL quarterback, and he blows out his knee, and there's no way around that. Here's the thing. Sometimes fans and media presume that there was a right answer, and there might not have been a right answer here. They were choosing between signing Case Keenum to a big deal. Case is on his, 5th or 6th team now?
Yeah.
Listen, we know he has strengths, but he also has glaring weaknesses that cause every team that employs him to say, nope, not anymore. They had Teddy, who wasn't ready to play yet.
Mm-hmm. Still not ready to play.
Still not ready to play. He's it looks like, and by the way, breaking news, Drew Brees looks like he's going to be out about 6 weeks, so Teddy is probably going to be playing for the Saints. We'll see how that goes. Or go out in the market and sign a quarterback. And if you're going to go out in the market and sign a quarterback, you're kind of got to get somebody who's actually done it, who's had success, and Cousins was that guy. They overspent because you always have to overspend. So it's like I'm down on Cousins right now, but I'm not even sure being down on Cousins I can say they did the wrong thing.
That's right. I think that's a great point. I mean, it's like when you look at the Bears, okay, they traded up to 2 and took Trubisky in the same draft that you had Deshaun Watson and Patrick Mahomes. That's a real mistake. So far, it looks like. It looks like a real mistake on their part from an evaluation standpoint. When the Vikings decided that Case Keenum was not their guy and went out into the market, Kirk Cousins was like literally the only one on the market that was available that was a cut above competent. It's not like they chose Cousins over Phillip Rivers or somebody like that who was available. They didn't have many other options. Now they were competing against the Jets and I think a couple other, Arizona maybe too, so they had to splash the pot a little bit to bring him in. But this one was an option, a case of not many options, and they felt like they were a quarterback away, and so they went and got Kirk Cousins. The Ponder one, yeah, that was a mistake of evaluation. There's a couple other guys they could have taken that would have given them a better chance. But in this case, you can't point to another team who was in the free agent quarterback market that summer who picked someone else, I think, and who is markedly better because of it. It's just like that's the way that the chips fell in that moment. So timing was difficult for them, and that's in that regard.
Absolutely. Tony Hoaglund, your State Farm agent, my State Farm agent, Michael Russo's State Farm agent. He works out of an office in Champlin, but he's very accessible no matter where you live in the Twin Cities, and he's done a great job for Michael and myself. I just went through a move, and he and his staff are just really responsive and great to work with. Also, I need to mention this. Tony is, and Brandon, our producer, is going to help me out with this because I don't have the information right in front of me, but Tony is making $10 donations to a charity every time somebody mentions this show, Viking Update, when you call in to talk to them about working with them. And again, no obligation. You don't have to buy anything. You don't have to spend a dime with them. But if you call in and mention Viking Update show, they will make a $10 donation to charity, and State Farm, the National Center, will match it. So it'll be a $20 donation to charity. Brandon will help me out with exactly what charity that is. But Tony continues to do good work.
Hi, Talk North listeners. I wanted to let you all know about State Farm's new Quotes for Good program. We partner with local nonprofits to raise money for great causes. The Viking Update show, I will donate $10 to the Adam Thielen Foundation, benefiting the University of Minnesota Masonic Children's Hospital. When you call in, be sure to mention the show so that we can track the donations. You can reach us at 763-421-4900 or check out our website at champlininsurance.com.
Next Twitter question is from Steve-O, who kind of mentions, hey, the offensive line wasn't very good. I could buy that if Cousins' worst throws didn't come when he had nobody around him.
Yeah, I mean, look, it still is something that that needs to be addressed, I think, because Cousins made the big mistakes, and most of them were on his own. I think with some of the throws, he missed Stephon Diggs in that kind of cross the field route where he had to step on his guy and overthrew him, and there are a couple of other plays that he just made poor throws and poor decisions on where he didn't have hands in his face. So it's clear, like, I mean, if you're assessing priority to the blame, Cousins, I think, is at the top of the list. That said, it doesn't mean that everyone else was perfect either, because I mean, I think Garrett Bradbury is not playing very well,
right?
Especially in the pass protection game in the first 2 weeks. He does not look like he is up to the task that way. Now, he is facing really difficult competition with Grady Jarrett and then Kenny Clark. I mean, they're monsters in the middle there, but I mean, there's going to be a lot of defensive tackles and nose tackles that he faces on a week in and week out basis that he's going to have to do a better job on. And Elflein was hurt, and so they had Dakota Dozier in there, and so it's not that that Cousins has had a clean pocket every time and all of that. So Cousins has to do a better job, certainly, but I do think that there is a big room for improvement in the offensive line, especially from a pass protection standpoint, to try and help stabilize things a little bit more.
Reminder, Bite Squad, the promo code is TALKNORTH. You get your first delivery fee waived, but that's only going to work once. So after that, just keep using it because they do such a great job. Morning, noon, night, late night, snacks, ice cream, breakfast, lunch, dinner, your office, your home, wherever you like. TalkNorth. Use the promo code TalkNorth at bitesquad.com or Bite Squad, the app, and they will deliver restaurant-quality food to your front door. From Dr. Martin Van Nostrand, he basically said they should have kept Sloter. Listen, Sloter was not – even if you liked what you saw, listen, Kubiak had him in Denver. Mm-hmm. Zimmer had him for multiple years here. Stefanski had him. Nobody thought – listen, maybe they were wrong. Maybe he should have been the backup. You can make a case that he should be the backup as Sean Mannion. You can't make the case he should be starting in the NFL right now.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, I mean, look, I liked what I saw from him in preseason, and every time he stepped out on the field in the preseason games, he's seemed to have done well. But I don't think I got another question, direct message to me too, asking should you sit Kirk Cousins? And I don't think we're there yet. No, and I whether it was Kyle Sloter here or Sean Mannion here, we're not at that point where you would say it's time to put him on the bench and try someone else. This is your guy. This is the one that you brought in. This is the guy who has had all the reps with Stephon Diggs and Adam Thielen and Kyle Rudolph and everyone else. And it's way too early to be pulling the plug. I mean, everyone always loves the backup quarterback and the one that go away. And maybe Sloter will eventually catch fire and become the next Kurt Warner and really light things up. But I don't think that at the end of this season, if things do not go well, the problem will not be that they let Kyle Sloter go and that they kept Kirk Cousins as the starter. I just don't believe that. Now, here's the other thing to bring into the whole discussion here, which is the penchant for, because the Vikings lost, all is lost and they're never going to win again. That's the way that the NFL goes. At the end of the day, when you look at that game, they lost 21-16 to one of their chief rivals on the road. They had multiple chances to win the game if they had played better. They did not get outclassed. They did not get outcoached. They did not get outperformed in terms of you didn't walk out of that saying, whoa, man, the Packers are just so much better than the Vikings. I think you walk out of this thinking the Vikings had a winnable game and let it slip through their fingers. And so, I don't want to pretend to say that, because they lost this game, all is lost. I mean, everyone last week after week one was up, they're going to the Super Bowl. So we didn't really hear any of these complaints about Cousins last week because they run the ball so well, the defense was great. Boy, the Packers don't know what are going to hit them. And I picked the Vikings to win this game, so I thought it was going to happen.
And if Cousins makes a throw, my pick's right on money.
That's exactly right. So they are literally one throwaway away from winning that game. And so, they lost. And yes, Kirk Cousins is a concern, and this could snowball and all this stuff, but it's not like they got blown out. I don't think all is lost. They have a really good defense. They have Dalvin Cook. If Kirk Cousins can figure things out a little bit, they're going to be okay, I think. I still believe that.
Well, and let's look at the big picture to wrap the show up here. Their next 6 games are all winnable. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go 6-0, but I could very well see them going 4-2, even 5-1. Home against Oakland, who's a mess. At Chicago, if Trubisky keeps playing this way, the Vikings are going to do some damage against him. At the Giants, who aren't any good. Home against Philadelphia, which is going through some severe injury problems, and just lost at Atlanta. At Detroit, always winnable. Home against Washington, who's an absolute mess. And then at Kansas City, at Dallas, but then, home against Denver, which is a winnable game. So listen, I think I picked this team to go 9-6-1. And I could still see them winning 9 or 10 games. I could still see them being a playoff team. My big picture concern is that I don't know if Cousins is the right guy to really take them someplace. It doesn't mean the season's lost.
Yeah.
Green Bay has won 2 very close games. Chicago looked horrible offensively one game and then beat a bad team in game 2. The division's wide open.
No doubt. Yeah, exactly. And so it is a long season, and I know kind of fans right now are frothing at the mouth, and they don't want to hear patience, and they don't want to hear about that. They want to hear, trade Kirk Cousins and fire Spielman and let's get moving. But I do think that this thing is, it's fixable. To quote Christian Ponder, a lot of these things are easily correctable, but I think that I think there's still room for them to kind of work things out and get to a point where they can be at the top of this division. Yeah, now can they win a Super Bowl? Shoot, I don't know, but I didn't know that going into the season. But they've had one good game, they've had one rough game, and we'll see how that all shakes out.
From Leslie, when will Sean Mannion start? I think we've already addressed that. From Paul Roiger, if the Vikings go 8-8 again this season, should Zim and Spielman be fired? Signing Cousins was a huge mistake. Again, we've been through the Cousins thing. It's really hard to sit here and say if they finish X and X, what will happen, because how things go always matters. It's not just the record. What if they lost 8 starters to injury, and then you're sitting saying, okay, did we really evaluate them on this? The flip side, what if they go 8-8 and it looks like their coaching decisions and their roster management cost them 4 games? Then, so how it happens is just as important as the record.
It is, and I still think that, just my read on the Wilf family and the way they run things, they want stability. They crave the Rooney, Mara type of stability. And so my just guess and speculation is that it would take something worse than 8-8. It would have to be 4-12, 6-10 kind of disaster where, Cousins is completely overwhelmed. Bradbury looks like a lost pick. A lot of things happen for the Wilfs to clean house. I just think that they are steady as it goes types of owners. I think they like and respect Rick Spielman a lot. I think that they believe in Mike Zimmer. And so I don't get the sense that they would blow the whole thing up over 8-8.
From Visante Franco. I love that name.
Nice.
Visante Franco is one of my favorite Vikings. What a cool guy. Was Kirk Cousins sober this Sunday? I will take the snarky question and give you an honest, an actually real answer. Cousins, I do not doubt his commitment. I don't doubt his work ethic. I don't doubt that he puts in the hours. I don't doubt that he cares. That doesn't mean it's going to work out here, but I do not question. This is not a guy who's out drinking Saturday night. He's a very serious guy. He just didn't play well enough.
Yeah, if anything, he's probably paralysis by analysis.
Yes.
I think he over-prepares sometimes a little bit.
Absolutely. From Nathan Atkins, with Madison showing a lot of promise, should they use him more No, use Dalvin Cook as much as you can.
That's right. The only way for me, the only reason to sprinkle in Madison, he does look good. if you want to make sure that you have Cook for a whole season.
Right. Or he's fresh in the fourth quarter. Yeah. He is a backup. He is not a co-starter. He is a backup.
That's true.
And from Adam Jones.